As I noticed, where a lot of losses will come from is when you're waiting for the daily pullback, just make sure that there is no indecision candle, especially if it's at like just any time if you're trading with the daily, like don't trade against an indecision candle, a sign of weakness, doji candle, whatever you want to call it, because as you can see, indecision candle, if you try to take a trade after that and you got in on here, obviously like you won't be seeing this candle, but then you would like look at it and be like, oh, okay, oh, okay, like we can probably fill this wick on here, right? Well, this when the really well, let's say for example, this is a counter trend trade you're looking for, because this is when the only time you probably want to look to take like let's say the weekly is bearish and the daily and the 4 hour bullish, then you'd be like, oh, like okay, we don't need a proper daily pullback, we just need a proper 4 hour pullback, right? On the counter trend. But what you need to make sure is every time you're doing that is to make sure there's not a daily like a daily rejection candle. So a daily rejection candle, obviously this is a sign of weakness this week. You don't need to measure it. This is weak. Every time you try to jump in after these, you will get smacked. Indecision candle, 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 indecision candle, indecision candle. So how to tell for the indecision candles? Obviously, if it's like doji indecision looks like that with these long wicks, that's an indecision candle. But if you can't tell, then you would just measure it. So if it's a bullish candle, just start from the bottom up to the top. If it can't go past that 43 mark on there, it's a weak candle. If it goes past this, it's a strong candle. Under 43, weak candle. Right here, you measure from top to bottom. This is obviously an indecision candle because it's like less than 45% filled on there. Same with this. Just anytime you see that. So basically, I have some notes on here. So don't take a trade after the daily rejection candle on there. And where I went wrong was I failed to recognize that because, yeah, it was at a higher high. And I was like, oh, it's a counter trend trade. I just need a proper 4 hour pullback. But the daily gave us an indecision candle, so we can't take that. So just like the weekly, when you see an indecision candle at a higher high or a higher low, or at the number two instead of the number three, which like number one is at all the way at the higher high or lower low. Number two is on the way to the area of interest, and then number three is at the area of interest. You can take them when you're at the area of interest because you can pop up from there. But if you take it, let's say for example, at a two, like you've rejected and now you're in the middle of the move and you try to take it, you can't do that. So that is the thing with the daily indecision candles and the weekly indecision candles. Just like the weekly, whenever you see these candles, you just need to wait for a deeper pullback every time. You see these indecision candle, wait for a deeper pullback. Indecision candle, wait for a deeper pullback. Sometimes it might take 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3, 4 days, maybe even a week to do it, but you're going to be avoiding so many losses just by skipping those. So yeah, that's a tip that's going to help us a lot there.